This is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide, and I bring you this week's report of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce where we received and processed their notice between January 16th and January 22nd. Now, if you're new to me, you're probably wondering, what does giving layoff information week after week have to do with mortgage and real estate? Well, I'm glad you asked. It was many, many years ago. I was super excited. I was getting ready to buy a piece of property. The seller was getting ready to get the proceeds of selling that piece of property. I had signed my loan documents. I go back to work hours later and I find out that myself and 399 other people were getting laid off that day. Did you hear what I said? I'm getting ready to buy a piece of property. I signed my loan documents. And if you've ever purchased a piece of property, when you sign your loan documents, there is no rescission period. Unlike a refinance, you got 3 days to think about it, change your mind. But in a purchase, when you sign those loan documents, there's no cancellation. And unfortunately, I get to work and I find out hours later that I no longer have a job. You can only imagine what was going through my mind. I immediately got on the phone, called my mortgage broker at the time, called my real estate broker at the time, said, look, you guys can't fund this loan. I don't have a job. I faxed them over the paperwork. Yes, this was many, many years ago because we hardly use fax these days, maybe occasionally. Um, but I was able to unravel the transaction, thankfully. But guess what? I lost money in the process. Like I didn't get my deposit back. I didn't get my money that I spent for termite inspection, home inspection, the appraisal to be done on the property. Like I didn't get that money back. So there's two big reasons why I share this information week after week. Number one, what would you do differently if you thought there was a possibility that you might get laid off? Like, I don't want you to get caught off guard, but if there's a possibility that you might get laid off, what would you do differently? Would you dust off your resume, put some fillers out there and see what other companies are hiring in your field? Would you start that new business that you've always been talking about? Would you sit down and write that new book that you've been talking about or started and never finished? What would you do differently? Would you not go on that lavish vacation or that shopping spree or buy that new house or buy that new car? Would you consolidate your bills? Would you refinance, pull some money out or pay off some bills, kind of restructure your life so you are good, you're not stressed out? So, the first reason why I share this information, I don't want you to be caught off guard like I was. And then I want you to be able to prayerfully make some wise decisions. And feel free to call me if you need some help on that. Make some wise decisions if you feel like you're going to be laid off, or maybe you already have the news that you're getting laid off. That's reason number one. Reason number two, I share this information is I want you to know you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship. Like I've literally been helping clients for years. Okay. I've been in the mortgage and real estate industry over 18 years. I've been helping clients for years lower their mortgage payment, make it more affordable so they don't have to exhaust all their savings trying to make their mortgage payment each month. So it doesn't matter if you've had a loss of income due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, or layoff, it doesn't matter. Here in California, we have experienced some really, really bad fires here. Some people have lost their jobs due to the fires. Like, I want you to know you don't have to lose your house in the process. Now, before I get into the list, you may say, you know what, Lacy, I don't need to hear the list. I already know I need your help. I'm glad that you know you need my help. I am the girl for you. So feel free to call me at 714-914-7254, or you can text me at that same number, 714-914-7254. Feel free to visit my website at modifymenow.com or follow me on all social media platforms at Go Lacy Robertson. That's Lacy without an E and Robertson with a T. I have valuable information that I endeavor to share with you, and that's all social media platforms at Go Lacy Robertson. Now, Before I get into this list, let me share with you what I was able to help one of my clients obtain. Uh, Give me 1 second. I want to share because I really can show you better than I can tell you. And I want to share. Hopefully, you can see my screen here. So this is a client. He had a U.S. bank. They were really in a bad way. They had lost some income. They were past due over $31,000. Can you see that? Past due over $31,000. They were getting ready to lose their home. I came in and I helped modify their mortgage. So let me highlight here. Their previous mortgage payment was $1,888.11. You see that? I have it highlighted here. They had an interest rate of 4.962. That was an adjustable rate mortgage. What does that mean? That wasn't even the highest interest rate. It was going to keep going up and adjusting. But anyways, their mortgage payment was $1,888.11. You notice here it says no escrow. That means that did not include taxes and insurance. They still had to pay that separately. I came in, I helped, I modified their mortgage. I got their modified mortgage down to $1,667.20. This was adjustable rate mortgage, but the rate was at 2%. And when it maxed out, it didn't even exceed what they had before. So that was a good thing. I was able to modify their mortgage and I saved them. If you notice here, it says their modified mortgage payment was $1,667.20. That included principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? So I literally saved them $907.57 a month. What would you do? Would that help you out if you were able to save over $900 on your mortgage? Well, again, that is the reason why I share this information. I want you to know you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship. There are programs out there available for you. There's temporary options like a repayment plan or a forbearance plan. There's more permanent options like a refinance, a loan modification. There are so many programs available, and I'm here to help you. So again, if you have any mortgage or real estate needs, I want you to visit me at modifymenow.com. Or the very, very best way to reach out to me is by calling or texting 714-914-7254. Now, let's get into it. I give you this list of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce. I give you this list in alphabetical order. If I pass the letter that your company begins with, before you have a sigh of relief, you may want to check previous videos that I recorded in the last weeks, especially if you've heard whispers, because I share this information as we receive and process them. I'm going to give you this list in alphabetical order. I'm going to give you the date the company is laying off, of course, the name of the company. I'm going to let you know if this layoff is a permanent layoff, if it's a temporary layoff, if it's a closure. I'm going to let you know how many, and of course, the address. So let's get started. We don't have too many, which is a blessing. So we have about 13 entries, but we really only have about five companies because some of the companies have multiple locations. So let's get started. Let's see. Yep, I already have it in alphabetical order, so we are good to go. March 28th. Closing permanently, you have Del Monte Foods. Del Monte Foods is closing permanently. They're laying off 378 people at 10652 Jackson Avenue in Hanford. You have March 17th, eCam Secure is laying off permanently 21 people at 3400 East Airport Way in Long Beach. The next few entries is for Kaiser Foundation Hospitals. Okay, March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals is laying off permanently 15 people at One Kaiser Plaza in Oakland. You have March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals is laying off permanently 11 people at 1438 Webster Street in Oakland. You have March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently one person at 1950 Franklin Street in Oakland. March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently two people at 5820 Owens Drive in Pleasanton. March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently 19 people at 10949 Pendleton Street in Sun Valley. You have March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently one person at 4733 West Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently one person at 1840 California Avenue in Corona. March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently one person at 1900 South Norfolk Street in San Mateo. And then you have March 22nd, Kaiser Foundation Hospitals laying off permanently one person at 276 International Circle in San Jose. May 10th, Macy's is closing permanently, laying off 79 people at 6200 Franklin Boulevard in Sacramento. And last but not least, March 21st, Quanex Home Shield LLC is closing permanently, laying off 50 people at 3640 Ramos Drive, Suite 120 in West Sacramento. So that is this week's list of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce where we received and processed their notice between January 16th and January 22nd. Now, remember, if you've experienced a loss of income due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, layoff, or natural disaster, I want you to call or text me at 714-914-7254. I'm Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. I look forward to working with you and for you. And until then, have a blessed day.